Hello and welcome to our 2016 awards. I'm talking to you outside a Yorkshire residential complex that is just being completed. There are many subjects that have been on the lips of our judges this year. Joint ventures have been a theme, planning and quality of projects. But we can't get away without mentioning that B word, Brexit. So what, according to them, has been the effect of Brexit on the Yorkshire property industry?
Despite difficulties in other regions, certainly in the Yorkshire region, Brexit doesn't seem to have had much of an impact, and actually simply due to the fact that there is a national housing shortage, we expect to see instructions to continue and growth to be buoyant.
We've not seen any particular bad news stories or pessimistic noises coming from the industry, and we've seen generally business as usual from across the sector.
Certainly here in the Leeds area and this region particularly, there seems to have been a huge amount of resilience, and a lot of interest in development still seems to be coming through.
There are some really interesting messages being emphasised this year by the market. At one time, people were a bit prejudiced about new homes like this. That's certainly changing, we're told. But if they are to buy new homes, they want high specification, high quality, and also location.
What we're seeing is it's not just about the buildings so much per se these days, it's about the places that they're created in. People are looking at the environment, the places outside where they're being built, but what we're seeing being really successful is quality.
People are looking for energy efficiency, storage. That's a big deal for people these days. We are very acquisitive. 10, 15 years ago, people were quite snooty about new houses. Now they are all the rage. That's what people want. And to be fair, developers have really upped their game in terms of design.
Conversion is always very, very popular, particularly with apartments. If it's new build, the smaller niche developers really seem to have the market cornered at the moment because of the level of detail that goes into the developments. So it's a lot easier if you've got, say, a development of up to 25 to be more bespoke. And buyers are very savvy. They're looking for quality above anything else.
I think from a marketing perspective, the opportunities are so vast now. How does a client look at differentiating how they present to different audience groups? Do they embrace national platforms? Do they embrace international platforms? How do they present it visually? How do they engage better in terms of placemaking with potential investors and buyers from a much wider audience group?
I think all the developers are having to raise the game. There's a lot of competition out there, and to stand up above the rest, they've got to show a bit more innovation in design. Consumers are looking a lot more at open plan living, less traditional houses. Similarly, they've probably got a more broad mind in terms of materials. So I think a lot of the house builders are probably branching out away from their standard product.
When you look at the private rented sector, or PRS as it's known in the industry, well, there was obviously a rush to market because of those stamp duty changes earlier this year. But we are told by our judges that there's still interest in complexes like this, flaunt close to Leeds city centre, in the 1 and 2 bedroom homes from buy-to-let investors.
There is high demand across the board, including both for private houses and for other solutions that are coming forward to meet the housing shortage, such as PRS and starter homes. Now, I do expect to see growth of PRS over the next 6 to 12 months. And whilst it's not a panacea, it is obviously one of the tools that we're using and seeing coming forward in order to try and meet the housing shortage.
I think in terms of the PRS market, it's difficult to be sure how that sector will be affected by Brexit, but potentially if there is a market adjustment in terms of housing for sale, it may lead to more rental, and therefore it may lead to a greater attractiveness of private renting, both in terms of the younger generation renting, but also in terms of funding and investment.
When you look at the issue of raising finance, developers have become more savvy in recent years. There have also been partnerships to spread the risk, but very often it's involved coming down here to London. Well, now I'm in Finsbury Square, close to the headquarters of the Hampshire Trust Bank, and they've decided to go north. So confident are they in the future of residential development up there that they've decided to establish their own northern powerhouse, and their office is going to be based in Yorkshire.
I think the change recently, over recent months post-Brexit, has been certainly an air of caution, and that's particularly being felt in London, where values have rocketed to record levels. I think a lot of funders are pulling back from the London market. Whether this means they'll look further afield into the northern regions, time will tell. We certainly are. We believe it's potentially a more stable property market than London and the South East.
I think going forward, it goes back to there's still a need for housing. So depending if Brexit does or doesn't have an impact, it's sort of to one side, there's still a need for housing, so there's still a number of schemes that can come forward. What you might see is a shift in what type of schemes, so more focus on affordability, more focus on regeneration, rather than, I guess, the more glamorous large-scale developments.
The world keeps moving, so we have to keep moving forward. We have no choice. We've done it before, we can do it again.
I really think we've got to keep doing what we're doing.
Don't talk ourselves into recession.
Stay positive, there are opportunities out there. It's business as usual.
It needs to be positive. I think positivity breeds positivity.
So, as I said, it's been quite a momentous year for the Yorkshire property industry. Our house here is complete, all ready to be handed over, the turf is laid and the residents will be moving in shortly. Everything that's made tonight goes towards Variety, the children's charity. So be generous, but most of all, have a great awards evening. Bye for now.